Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, let us build a nation together. And yes, we are calling all genuine and sincere Grenadians, home and abroad, to please come, let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. And we are not naive to believe that everyone who comes on that project site is genuine or sincere about advancing this nation, about developing this nation. In fact, I listen attentively to the recordings of a meeting, involving the opposition party. And it is very clear from the leader down to those who continue to, represent that organization. They are not genuine about the development of this country. All they want is power. All they want is to come back in power. They don't care whether, the roads are being fixed better. They don't care whether public officers are happier. They don't care whether our people are good and, extremely pleased with this government. They don't care about that. They don't care about the improvements in agriculture or healthcare or infrastructure or youth or sports or education. They don't care about that. All the NNP is interested in is getting back in power. All Keith Mitchell and the others who are around him are interested in is getting back in power. They are obsessed with power. And it's hurting them every single day with the NDC performing so well. And mind you, Keith Mitchell and his gang will be out there trying to say certain things to cause people to believe otherwise. He's not going, quietly or, commending or applauding anything that's good. He is not interested in that. And he's playing from the same book that he played from between 2008 to 2013. He comes across as the victim. He comes across as the person with no money, without anything much. In fact, he will speak about volunteerism and he will call people to come forward to volunteer and even say, well, look, we're in opposition. We don't have money. Use words to the effect, we don't have money to pay you. If they're in government, it's something different, right? But it's the same playbook. That's how he functions. Because his hope is that this government would mess up and then he will just reappear, right? That is his hope. So far, his hopes have been shattered for the last 12 months. But when you look at the desperation on the part of the NNP, one must conclude that they are only interested in power. Not once have they commended this government with all the good things that we, the people, have seen. Not once have they commended or applauded this government. But they're scared. They are scared because the Grenadian people, home and abroad, are pulling together to support this government. Don't believe that they are not observant enough to see the kind of love, the kind of support that the NDC has, that our beloved Prime Minister and team have in the diaspora. They're fully aware. Every single event that the NDC organized was successful here at home and in the diaspora. Every one of them. It says something. It says that the people are totally behind the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. It says also that the NDC is more organized, and it says that our social media presence and work online is actually bearing fruits. Do not underestimate the role that you are playing on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp. You are playing a significant role in guaranteeing the dominance of the NDC and this administration throughout. I tell you this because I know. Hence the reason over and over again, I applaud the people who use social media to promote the NDC, to defend the NDC, to promote the government, and to defend the government and all the members. You are present under nearly all the live streams. And I'm very observant. The names that pop up on the two programs that I do, these are the same names that pop up under the other programs, right? Under the other podcasts, under the news, under any live chat. I follow keenly. I use my time to appraise myself with what's going down on social media and the names and who saying what and where. So I know that you are doing a fantastic job. And it's actually affecting Keith Mitchell and the NNP. He spoke about that on umpteen occasions because the social media Grenadians, home and abroad, are actually defending the party, promoting the party, defending the government, and promoting the government. And I want to commend you. I want to applaud you for doing that. You're doing an excellent job. If no one else told you that, I am telling you, I appreciate you. And I want you to continue to do just that. And we need to support our people to make sure that they continue to do that very thing. So again, take a bow. The social media warriors, the social media defenders, the social media lovers, the people who are on social media, defending, promoting, pushing the agenda. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. I want to say also, we need to go back to basic. We need to organize ourselves at the constituency level. In every constituency, you have a number of villages. We need to go back to that strategy, that structure where we can organize our village groups. The NDC village group of Bolio, the NDC village group of Venom, the NDC village group of Tempe, the NDC village group of Mardi Gras, the NDC village group of Mongay. We have to go back to that. And out of those groups, you get a representative to be on the branch of the constituency. And in those different village groups, you would have a treasurer, you would have a person responsible for welfare, a person responsible for youth, a person responsible for certain things. And you have at the branch level a welfare committee or welfare group, a national a constituency welfare group. And then out of that, you'll get one or two persons representing the constituency at the national level. So we have to go back to that. The treasurer from those different community groups, NDC community groups, you need to be a part of the fundraising committee at the branch level. And out of that, at the national level, the treasurer will be able to have a committee at the national level where one or two persons from the constituency who are involved in that, they're sitting at the national level. So you have to go back to that structure because that's a winning structure. Because out of that, you then know who are your supporters in your village, in your constituency, but specifically in your village, in that polling division. You know who died, when they died, who they supported, who migrated, who they supported. That is how you get information. And in this day and age, when it comes to politics, information is power. Information will give you the edge on your opponent. So I want to encourage you at the constituency level to start organizing at the PD level or at the village level where you have a number of people and you don't have to, look for 20 and 30 people. You need to start somewhere. So in that village, start with 10. Identify 10 people that you can work with in that village and call the member of parliament, call the caretaker for the NDC, invite them to the meeting, right? Organize yourselves. Call your group. Mount Granby, for example, Mount Granby NDC group, Grand Roy NDC group, right? River Sally NDC group. Just using that as an example. You need to start doing that. Pull some people together, meet, organize. So when you discuss, when you come to your meeting, you can actually have, excuse me, you can actually have canvas training. So you don't have to wait until the general election. You don't have to wait until close to the general election to train people in canvassing. Throughout the term, you will be canvassing the list. And it's easy for you because all you will have is the list of people registered to vote in your polling division, in your area. So anytime one migrates, you can note that. Anytime one dies, you can note that, whether they're NNP or NDC. You have to start that process, and you must know how many young people in that house, if they support the NDC or the NNP. You must know from an NDC standpoint how many people in the NDC household reach the age of 18 so you can bring them to register. How many of them celebrating a birthday. So you can bring a birthday card or something at that place, at their home. If someone passes, if someone dies in that home, you will be the first to go there to sympathize. If someone is sick and in the hospital, you will be the first to know. So it is important, very important, that we go back to the foundational structures of the party, that we organize ourselves from the grassroots level. And through that, we can actually identify our people, the people who support the party, the people who are in need of certain things, so we can assist them. So we would not have any doubt. So we know who is who within the community. So I want to urge those who won their seats and those who are caretakers for the NDC to start the process. You cannot wait until election time to start that process. Even if you have to hire one or two people to make sure that that structure exists in the different constituencies. That is important, even if you have to do that, so that that person will be, or persons, they will be responsible for making sure that the groups are in place, the structures are in place, and that we get things going. Remember, I spoke about the need in every constituency to have a constituency office that's a party office and a constituency office that's government. You need to have a party office within your constituency with 2 or 3 paid staff. So you raise funds like normal to pay the staff in that office and pay the rent. So, for example, if the rent is $1,500 and the 2 people or 2 persons in there working $2,000, $1,500. So you already know at the end of the month you need $5,000 every month. And let's say water, electricity, it will be a next $200 or $300. So you know that you need $5,200 or $300. So during the month, you raise funds, but even within your constituency, you identify NDC supporters who are financially sound, who can give you a $50, who can give you $100 towards taking care of the expenses of the office. And that office must have an area where you can meet, where you can put things together within the constituency. That's a party office. And then you have the constituency office, paid by government, where the minister goes, and you have the secretary, the receptionist, and all these different people. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's government. So in every constituency, you need to have your presence. And you must be able to function in such a way that you get all your polling division groups going, working. You need to have that in place. That's how you win an election. You don't wait 1 year or 2 years before the election and start doing things like crazy. We need to be organized in such a way. Yes, we are waiting on our headquarters or resource center. We are waiting on that. That will happen, but it will take some time because we have to raise enough funds. We have had some successful events so far, very, very successful. But I am saying we need to go back to the grassroots. And you don't need to get somebody from outside to come and, do that kind of work. We have enough experienced political people who support the NDC who can actually assist in organizing the structures in every constituency. We need that to be in place between now and the next 2 years So when you're on the third year, because the minute time you reach the third year in in the whole governance cycle, it's election time. So the first year, it's all cool. Second year, third year. The minute time you break the third year and you go into the fourth, it's election, right? But we need to get our structures in place in the constituency. You cannot only have a constituency branch. You need to go down into the constituency, in the villages, in the polling divisions, and organize your polling division group. It will take some time, but once it gets going and you have somebody like a secretary, somebody in that office in your constituency who can follow up with the chair of each polling division group or the chair of the fundraising group in the polling division or the chair of the welfare group in the different polling division or the chair of the youth group in the different polling division or the chair of whatever group you have, women's group, right? Once you can communicate with them, so they meet regularly, they put plans and programs in place and you support them. You assign them with certain responsibilities. It is important in winning an election. Very, very important. The government is performing well. No one could deny that. But the government will not get you reelected. You could try that formula for the first time, second time, third time, it will not work. Because remember, you have NNP, you have NDC. The NNP base is as equal as the NDC base. Don't fool yourself. You may believe that the NNP base is smaller, you're joking. The base of both parties are fairly equal. And within now and the election, you would find more NNP supporters becoming very vocal. More of them will be front people, pundits. They will appear in programs. They would, because that is what happens. They want to get back into power. They will become more aggressive. They will become more visible. They would have more meetings. They would put out a lot of misinformation, propaganda, a lot of stuff like that. But if your structures are in place within the different constituencies, you can't go wrong. Because when you are grassroots, when you're in the polling division and you organize from there, you know everybody. I remember some years ago, every time I want information, I would go to a key person in the village and they could tell me all who is NNP, all who is NDC, who died, what they was, or what they were, who migrated, who they were supporting, where they working, how old is it. There are people with that kind of knowledge, but you don't want a person to have that knowledge. You want to be able, as a group, as a polling division, to have that knowledge of everybody and their needs, because you will be able to say to the minister, this area needs a road. And in this area, you have a person who's an NDC supporter, who's a carpenter or a mason or a contractor who could do the road. You will be able to say, well, the school needs a fridge, right? Because X and Y is the case. You will be able to say, well, there is 20 people in that area here, in this village, in this polling division, who needs a road walk, or who should be on the farm labor program, or who should, get certain things, or you may identify a person who needs to be in the seed program to get the poor relief assistance, right? So you localize the thing. You'll be able to say, well, boy, there is a security contract out and, there's a need for 10 people, 20 people in that area. Can you identify one or two? You understand? And you empower these people. You empower them. That is how you win an election. So when you have an event, they will be mobilizing the busloads of people. They will be organizing our people from the grassroots, from that level. So your work becomes easier. And we need to start seeing that happening in the constituencies. Because do not believe the NNP is not doing that. Exactly what I say to you, the NNP is doing that and more. And I know, right? I am not new to this. So again, I urge the members of parliament, I urge those who are caretakers, and on the NDC side, there is a need for more organization at the grassroots level. And some people might be watching some constituencies and saying, yes, boy, that member of parliament is strong. Okay, from a government standpoint, they might be strong as a government minister doing stuff. But when it comes to the politics, when it comes to the organizing within the constituency, that's where the problem lies. In every polling division, you're supposed to have a polling division group. Because in some constituencies, you have 9 polling divisions. And some, again, you have 7. Some 10, 11. I am saying in every polling division, because the government is separate from the party operations. And this is a little lesson I'm giving you, those who are involved in the party politics. It is important that you understand this. The government, so there are ministers, for example, Andy Williams, man, he doing well. But the question is, can we say the same thing for the politics in that constituency? And then people start to say, okay, all right, I understand what you're saying. In every polling division, you're supposed to have a polling division group making up, the youth rep, the women's rep, the treasurer, the chairman, the PRO, and all that is in the constitution that speaks to that. So in every village, in every polling division, because sometimes one polling division is 2 or 3 villages together, you set up that structure. That's important. Very, very important. Set up that structure there with your people. And they would do the canvassing. They would identify your people throughout in that constituency and the needs of that polling division. They will do most of the work for you. But you must not bypass them. You must not just go in there and ignore them, because you empower them. Once you empower them, they will do the work. So the political work is what is important. Also, I say to people, we are doing an excellent PR work, social media, radio, just name it. We're doing an excellent work where that is concerned, to sell the government, to promote the government, to push every event, every activity. So we're doing an excellent job. But you want in every polling division to have a public relation officer, a person there that the public relation officer at the national level could actually call. It's a pyramid, You have the public relation officer up here at the national level. At the constituency level, you have a public relation officer. Under that person, you have 5, 6, 7 polling divisions. So you have 5, 6, 7 public relation officers. So they know what is happening in that polling division. And once they know, then the person at the branch level will know. And once that person knows, then the person at the national level will know. That's how it's done. That is how you put structures in place. And same thing goes for the youth rep. So you have a national youth officer or a member, right? That person is responsible for youth. And let's say the women's arm, that person is the president or the chairman or the chairperson. But in every constituency, you have one person representing the women's arm and the youth arm. But in every polling division, you need to have a similar structure. One person there representing the youth and one representing the women. That's very, very important. So we want to see that kind of structure in the different constituencies. Government is performing well. We know. Bravo. Thumbs up. But we need to see the party structure in the different constituencies. We need to start seeing that. So far, the party has done a tremendous job with the activities for the 1-year anniversary. kudos, thumbs up. So far, the New York chapter is doing an excellent job. Thumbs up. So far, the Deacon Mitchell support group is doing an excellent job, and they have a bingo coming up on Saturday. Starting at 6 p.m., they have a bingo. And I promoted that. I told you about it. That bingo, the jackpot is 100, not 100, 1,000 US. 1,000 US. Tickets, I think it's $20, right? $20 for the tickets. That is important. $20 for the tickets. So, let me just get the location for you, right? So far they're doing an excellent job. So the tickets, well, so a ticket costs $20, the jackpot $1,000, and the venue where they're having it is at St. Paul's Church Auditorium, 157 St. Paul's Place, the corner of Church Avenue. Right? That's where they're having it. Starts at 6 p.m. on Saturday coming. And you could call Akim, you could call Francis, Akim Lewis, Francis Purcell, Jillian, Kenisha, Janice, Beverly, Meryl, Estella. You could call them to get that, right? So they're doing a wonderful job. And then you have the Canada support group. They have done an excellent job, right? And they continue to do that. Then we hear about the UK chapter. They're doing an excellent job to organize and plan for a gala and other events. The Miami chapter, also, they're doing an excellent job out there. So the diaspora, they're organizing themselves and they're doing a fantastic job. What we need to see is the constituencies. Because look, everybody seems to be fronting. Everybody lining up. They're lining up because government, our parties in power, government is performing well, and everybody looking good. And everybody caught up with government. And who looking for a walk here, who looking for a walk there, who looking to, eat a food here and eat a food there, and everybody looking for something, right? And you find that with both parties. Once you're in power, there are people going to be looking to grab. They want. But there's work to do. There's work to be done. Political work to be done. Organizational work to be done in the different constituencies. And the members of parliament must take the lead. You must lead. I say to people, wherever I am, you don't have to ask who's the leader. If I am leading, you will know. Because I am not a follower. I don't follow. I'm a leader. So you don't have to ask who's in charge here. Kem Jones is in charge. Right? And the buck stops with me. If it goes wrong, I take full responsibility. If everything goes good, I give you all the credit. That's how I function. I give you all the credit, those who are involved. That's how I function generally. So I am saying you have to take leadership. In other words, demonstrate it at the constituency level and start organizing the different groups. Start putting structures in place, and it will make your work easier because then you would know the needs of that polling division, the needs of your supporters within the polling division. Because we are still a people who remember tangibles. You could say what you want. We are still a people who remember what you did for me, what you did for my family, or what you did for my neighbor, or the community to a lesser extent. There are some people who can think big and they see the community. So the community gets something, then you're happy. But there are some people, it's a personal thing. You get a walk, you set up somebody in the family with a walk, they love you, oh gum, right? They get some material assistance, they love you 100%. One of their daughters or sons get a blight with a scholarship, same thing, right? You take one of the family member and you, because they need, you put them in the seed program or the poor relief assistance program, they're bigging you up everywhere. You understand? You're a farmer, you get some assistance with the farm labor program, same thing. and you go on and on and on. It's personal. They in a jam, they call you, you help them, they remember that, and they would remember that until next election and the next one. You hear people say, well, Gary put panty at drawers, cause them women to wear drawers, as they would say. They remember that, right? They would never forget that. So you have to understand certain things. Grenadians are still operating in the tangible realm. You give me something, I remember you. It will take some time for that to break out, for them to, lift and move out from that. But definitely not between now and the next election. It would not happen. It will not happen. You could do what you want. You could have all kind of night classes. So I am saying there is still a great segment of our population who would remember you for personal stuff, for things that you do for them and their family. That's important to remember, right? I remember going to Tortola because I was up there doing some training, right? I was at the Lone College in BVI, and a gentleman, I was up there for a period, right? And a gentleman came up to me and he said, Kemba, what are you doing up here? I could recognize the gentleman, and he said, you remember me? I said, no. He said, you remember when you were in Housing Authority and Ivan Pass, Samaritan Post gave them that structure, the frame with the tarpaulin and so on around it, and they went to XYZ asking for them to, cover, put the sides, right? The ply or the wood around the house and some windows and doors, because you have children and so on there. And none of them listened. And Kim, you remember when you came and you gave us, because I was in Housing Authority, I would have, had that kind of connection and responsibility and so on. I could have easily, So remember when you had the Guyanese go and put the hardwood and give windows and doors to us. The guy's a big guy now, big man, out there doing well. He said, Kem Jones, anywhere you want to go in Tortola, just call me. Anything you want, I'm here. He remembered, a child, there was a little kid. He remembered vividly when I assisted his mom. There was an occasion again where I met someone. Said, Kem Jones, you remember me? I said, remember you where? Said, Kem Jones, you remember when you came when that person had COVID? And they called me and said, Kem Jones, I had COVID and I need something to eat and so on, because I was organizing the hampers and so on during that time when people were afraid to go and visit their family and so on. I was out there. Said, you remember me? Said, you came and you gave us a hamper or two of food items when everybody was afraid to come and assist. So I'm saying that type of politics, that type of relationship still exists, and it will not go away anytime soon. So yes, you might be doing something good for the community and something grande and grande. Few people will understand the value of that. When it comes to the real politics, it's personal. When I go to a shop, for example, I remember I went to a shop and the guy said, Kem Jones, you don't mind no drink for us today, we go buy for you. So remember, every time you pass by in that village, you would give us a drink or two. All of $50 now, all you buy a drink, Drink a little, a beer, or drink some rum or whatever. That's what it is. They remember that. So you could say what you want. What you want. It boils down to that. It boils down to the basic. That's the politics, right? The personal touch. So yes, you can do big things in communities, and that's great. That's wonderful. That's really impactful. But when it boils down to the politics, you get less credit where that is concerned and more for the personal touch. A friend called me today. He said, Kem Jones, every time I call you, you would answer the phone. Or you would call back. That again is important. I don't expect the ministers to answer everybody who call or sit there answering phones. You have secretary, you have people to do that, receptionists and so on. You have personal assistants to do that. So you designate, you give them that kind of responsibility. And they note all who call and what are the complaints and so on. And they follow up and, so you have less people complaining. They say, well, at least I was not able to get to the minister, but the personal assistant did X, Y, and Z. You understand the point? Very important. So I am saying again, it is important, folks, that you understand it is personal relationship. It's building that kind of rapport with people. And it can go a long way. Politically, it can go a long way. So again, a little politics every now and then, throwing that in. Because yes, the government is excelling. They are doing well. And keep it up. But the politics, that is where you will lose, and that is where you will win. Right? Yes, you would get some votes and props from performing well as a government and so on. But your ground game politically must be in place. If you have to, guarantee victory between now and then, because here it is. If you have in every polling division a functioning group with reputable people, good people, not people that go make bacchanal and make you lose more votes than you have. Good people, good party people. Because I could go in Grand Roy, for example, and get 10 busloads of people or 15 busloads of people. I could go in Guam and do the same thing. I could go in Clogier, Florida, anywhere in St. John and do that. I can mobilize hundreds of people if I want to, because people respect me, right? They know what I have been doing and how I function with them for many, many years. That is what I'm talking about. Good people with connection, with respect, leaders, and, in that community. If you have that, when the day of the election, your work will be very, very easy. Because they would build a relationship with the people in that polling division that is just to pick them up and bring them to the polling station to vote. They know what time. I'm telling you, I went to a community and the gentleman came up to me and said, Kem Jones, well, you know me from way back when, the kind of work I did for my party and so on. I'm not asking him for anything, but I find one set of people getting X, Y, and Z and the others not. As a guy's observation. He's saying he's not asking for anything, but he's saying one set of people seem to be grabbing. And it's not being shared. So I then pick up the phone and I called the minister. I said, Minister, how are you doing? I hope everything is okay with you. But I think you need to hear this, right? Because as I get feedback from people, I will share it with them. You need to hear this, right? And then the minister said, I will look into it, right? So it's important because people are observing, because there is so much resting on winning the next election and the next one and the next one. This first victory is just a taste of the thing, There are people home and abroad who have so much resting or on that plate, right? So much of everything to make sure that the NDC remains in power for the next 15 to 20 years. A lot of people, because what people don't want is one term. They want 2, 3, 4, 5 and counting. That is what the Grenadian people want. So we must never underestimate the people, right? I remember a couple of those folks, just before the election came by, the senior folks, and they were talking, and how they came across is as though they were running to come second. right? And folks online, look, your statement, like for example, Kem, the NNP wouldn't come back and down. Hello, I am a political animal. You understand me? I understand this thing to a T. In 2008, it's the same thing people were saying. Between 2008 and 2013. Same thing. You hear me? You have to make sure that your rival is not just politically dead, but you have to go in the cemetery politically to make sure that they're buried. All right? And even if you have to sleep to make sure they ain't resurrect, politically, you have to be there. Politically. So it's not just somebody talking. Because there are a lot of people who talk and who say, well, they ain't coming back and then this and that. Look for them. You look for them. And it's similar, you know. Similar. I'll come back to the substantive point. It is similar. There are people who are out there who would say, Kem Jones, but I like your program, boy. We're supporting you, you know. We like, support what? Let me have an event. Like, for example, I have the first event on August the 3rd, towards getting that radio station. So a lot of people out there, Kem Jones, I like the program, boy. I'm supporting you and listening. And okay. We'll have the first event on August the 3rd at Wildwoods Park from 4 p.m. on that day until live band and so on, all inclusive, 300 EC, 110 US, 150 Canadian, right? Do you know that to date, only 5 people purchased tickets so far? Only 5 people purchased tickets so far. So I am not, you see, I am in this too long not to know that the noise in the market is not the seal. And that there are a lot of people out there who, you know, they will gas you up. I'm supporting you now, supporting you now. Yeah, the event is in August the 3rd. How far is August the 3rd from now? Under a month. Yeah. And don't believe that they know. A lot of people out there are supporting your event, are supporting you. I like it. Like what? They like gophers. A lot of people, there are some people who will support, who are genuine, who are sincere. And that's a true test. In fact, that first event, August the 3rd, will be a true test of whether or not the people who say, Kem Jones, I love what you do. Kem Jones, I'm supporting what you do. That's a true test to see whether or not they are genuine about all of this. Because here you have the first activity in a series of activities towards getting a radio station that we can call home. Very important. A radio station. So it's now more personal. Right? It's expanding. But there are some people, don't fool yourself. There are some people who want to see you in the same position forever and ever. Amen. Tell me a lie. There are some people who want to see Kem Jones in this studio here at home, volunteering and doing this forever. Not even thinking that he has a family. Not even thinking that he has 2 girls and his lady. Now, they want to see him in the same position on here every morning, every night. They don't want to see Kem Jones have a radio station of his own, or the people's radio station, as I would say it, where we can function and have multiple programs. There are people just like that out there. All the time, they're you know, I'm there with you. I like to see what you're doing, and I like what you're doing, and yeah. And the minute time you decide you go into the next step where you can have your own operation, your own system, you're joking. I am saying this will be a true test, because if you cannot make it to that event, you must sponsor a ticket. A good friend from PT Martinique sent $300 from PT Martinique for a ticket. She said, Kem, I wouldn't be able to make it, but I want to support what you're doing. I want you to put this towards a ticket. If a person comes, you can give them. If not, you can just keep it. towards that event. I went to Mount Airy, for example, and on my way out, a lady in a shop, she said, Kim Jones, come, man. She said, I'm not too well, you know. She told me she's not too well. She had some injury or so. She said to me, Kim Jones, come. I want to give you 150 towards a case of turkey. And they're there, they're listening now, and they can attest to that, what I am telling you. There's a lady in Gove, right, who called me. She said, Kim Jones, boy, I won't be able to make it, you know. But I will send down 100 US by the usual person. Right? And the person right now is on the live now, who she would give that money if she didn't give it yet. Right? 100 US towards, say, put it towards a ticket. If somebody you are extra, put a 10 US with it towards a ticket. That is the kind of love. So there are people, and these are known supporters of what I do, what I everything I do, the programs and so on. It's not that it's expanding in such a way that you have more and more people giving, but I'm simply saying this event will be a true test of whether or not you are genuinely in support of what I do and the work that I continue to do voluntarily so. And here you have the first event on August the 3rd, Thursday, August the 3rd at Wildwoods Park. All-inclusive event. Food, local food and so on. Drinks, live band and so on. So around the carnival time, just before the peak of the carnival, right? If you can't make it, sponsor a ticket or 2 or 3 towards that event. You can go online. You don't have to give me personal in my hand, or you can do so. But you can go online as I speak now, wherever you are, Canada, America, England, Grenada, throughout the Caribbean, anywhere you are now, you can go online on Ride, just like this, easy like this. Ride, right? I'm doing it with you. RYDE by BUY.com. Ridebuy.com. When you get there, you see Junior George Bingo, right? Bingo 1500 US. You go down a little, and then you see Kim Jones Appreciation Event. Right there. Kim Jones Appreciation Event. You click that, you say add to cart. You see 110 US, add to cart. You click add to cart, and then it comes up, order now. The minute time it comes up, order now, then it asks you for your full name, email address, phone number, message option. They give you that. Then you go to the next step, order now. Then you put in your credit card information or your debit card information. Simple like that, within no time. And then you get in your email, an email giving you all the receipt and everything, right as we speak. Not anything difficult. So you can go there right now and buy. I remember I went by my good friend who is in Gulf Coast. And while we were at the door, she took her phone and she said she wanted to buy a ticket. I said, well, I didn't walk with the physical one. And she took her phone, and within no time, within 10 seconds, she purchased a ticket. She's one of the 5. But I'm saying, to date, only 5 tickets have been sold to date. In fact, 2 out of that is outstanding, credited, but that person will pay. So only 3 for cash and 2, well, credited temporarily because that person will pay. So I'm saying it's important. If you can't come, you can't make it, sponsor a ticket or 2. We're going to give people, they would come, right? It's important that you do so, because for me to organize such an event, I need to know how many people in advance will be coming, right? That's important, a true test. But folks, tonight was all about politics 101. It is important to build relationships. It is important to maintain relationships. It is important to have organizational structure in place. And folks, while I am at that, those folks who pledge their financial support towards keeping the program going, please try to honor that. The greater number of people have not yet honored that commitment. So you made that pledge that you will financially support, give towards the program, the $50 or the $100 or the $20 or the $30, that kind of thing, the usual kind of thing. If you made that commitment, please try to honor that commitment because we have bills to pay. You understand the point? The greater portion of people have not yet honored that commitment. Still outstanding, and we have bills to pay. We have deadlines to meet. So I want to urge you to please honor that commitment if you can within, today, tomorrow, Saturday for the latest. Try to honor that commitment. Folks, we have to wrap it up. Take good care. Have a wonderful night. Peace and love. Let's keep doing what we are doing. It's important. And bye for now. Take good care and bye for now. Peace and love. Bye for now. We have to wrap it up at this point in time. We're out of time, but we're going to continue the Politics 101 because people need to be in school on the politics, being schooled on the politics and what we need to do within our constituencies. That's important.
The proceeding was a paid program. The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests of this program and not the views of this radio station.
THAKYO